Hey, we're at Oregon Trail RV Park and Campground here in Twin Falls, Idaho.
Welcome to the Magic Valley of Twin Falls, Idaho. Nestled along the Snake River Canyon, Twin Falls can be an incredible RV destination with breathtaking natural beauty and is an adventure seeker's paradise. Usually you can watch base jumpers defy gravity as they leap from the famous Perrine Bridge, or you can witness the power and splendor of Shoshone Falls, known as the Niagara of the West. There are breathtaking views of the Snake River Canyon as you hike or bike along the canyon rim trail, but for us, we are visiting at the wrong time to make much of this possible. Anyone who has ever visited Twin Falls has likely crossed the Perrine Bridge. It's a main route into and out of town, and the gorgeous Snake River Canyon it crosses is an amazing and beautiful welcome to visitors.
This bridge right here is 486 feet above the Snake River, and it is the only place in the United States that it is legal 365 days a year to base jump from without a permit. We are really hoping to see someone jump. The guy in the visitor center said that he thinks it'll happen this afternoon, but we don't really see any evidence of it yet. We're gonna wait around and see them. I can't imagine climbing over this railing, much less jumping when I got to the top. That waterfall over there is huge. If you put that anywhere else, it would be a main attraction. But here, nobody even told us it was there. We had no idea. And there it is, right by the Sportsman's Warehouse parking lot. I don't think we're going to see any base jumpers today. We've been here for an hour and we haven't seen anybody, so maybe try again tomorrow.
So now we're down here at Centennial Park, which is kind of at the water's edge, and you can see there's the bridge that we just walked across that people base jump off. Pretty cool view. We are just here at the wrong time of year. This is where they normally rent kayaks, and you can kayak up and down the Snake River through the scenic area. It'd be pretty awesome. But right now they got everything closed off. You can see the yellow caution tape here. They're treating the water for some invasive mussels that have invaded the Snake River. So they put some kind of chemical in the water and they don't want you anywhere near it. We're also really hoping to see Shoshone Falls. That's kind of the main attraction here in the Twin Falls area, but it's closed for the same reason. You can't get anywhere near it. What a bummer.
If you just turn around from the river, right there is another waterfall coming off the edge of the canyon. The waterfall we saw from Centennial Park is just around this corner. Let's go see what it looks like. This is really neat.
Perrine Coulee Falls drops almost 200 feet into the canyon and runs year-round, so this is a great place to visit when the other falls in the area are dry. It can be viewed from the top along the canyon rim trail or from this location along the road to Centennial Park. We love the opportunity to walk behind and around this natural wonder. I mean, how many chances do you get to walk behind a waterfall?
That is incredible. We're standing behind the fall. an amazing bridge, and an epic waterfall so close together. When we were here around 2 o'clock earlier, there were no base jumpers, so we thought we'd stop back and see if there were any this evening. Still no base jumpers.
Sadly, we didn't get to see any base jumpers during our visit, but we hear they are pretty common, so maybe next time. If you've been to the area and you've been lucky enough to witness someone taking the leap, let us know in the comments. We will definitely be jealous, but we would also love to hear about it. Well, this visit wasn't the best for seeing the main sights in Twin Falls. It freed up some time for us to visit Minidoka National Historic Site, located about 25 minutes outside of town.
Today we're exploring Minidoka National Historic Site. This was a Japanese internment camp during World War II. There's a 1.6 mile trail that's going to take us through the various parts of the site.
Again, because the time of our visit wasn't the best, the visitor center was closed. Even so, the grounds and interpretive signs were still open and extremely informative and free to visit.
This map shows what the relocation center looked like when it was completed. It was sitting on 33,000 acres, but this main part right here was only on 950 acres. The rest was farmland or completely unused. At one time, though, there were over 9,000 people that lived here. The sign is pretty interesting. It says that anti-Japanese racism existed long before World War II, but when the Empire of Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, this racial prejudice grew into mass hysteria. Rumors claimed that Japanese Americans were spying for the Imperial Japanese military, but most were proven false. Government reports show that the Japanese Americans were loyal to the United States. Nevertheless, on February 19, 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Executive Order 9066. This order allowed the U.S. Army to remove all persons of Japanese ancestry from their West Coast homes. None were exempt. Children were taken from orphanages and patients were moved from hospitals. In total, about 120,000 Japanese Americans were forced from their homes and imprisoned without a trial, a violation of the U.S. Constitution. 2/3 of them were U.S.-born citizens.
We mentioned earlier there were over 9,000 Japanese Americans incarcerated here, and it was actually the 7th largest city in Idaho at the time. They had a 196-bed hospital, an internal police force, a fire station, and over 2,000 students going to school here. This was one of the barracks here.
Let's be clear. When we say that the Japanese Americans were incarcerated, we are by no means implying that they were criminals. They were here simply because they were Japanese American. They were in the country legally, they were contributing members of society, and many of them were U.S. citizens.
Yeah, I think most of them that were here were residents of Alaska, Oregon, or Washington.
In addition to all the community building that Jeff talked about just a few minutes ago, the folks who lived here in Minidoka also grew most of their own food. The root cellar behind me could store 50 rail car loads of root vegetables, and they also built a pickling plant and a cannery to preserve some of their surplus.
Minidoka officially closed on October 28, 1945. That's when each of the incarcerees were given their freedom, along with $25 in train fare.
Even in 1945, train fare and $25 wouldn't have gotten anyone very far in rebuilding a life.
Minidoka was one of 10 Japanese American internment camps during World War II. We visited another one in California earlier in the year. This is really interesting stuff and stuff that we didn't really learn in school. So if you're interested, I encourage you to do some research. I think it's pretty eye-opening.